Good afternoon, students. Today we will observe another example in rectangular combined footing. So the previous problem what we have done was a kind of slab type of combined rectangular RC footing. Okay, so today we will learn about type 2 kind of problems, which is design of a slab and beam type combined rectangular RC footing. See what we really mean is, observe here. In the previous case, only a slab type of foundation was there upon which your columns are provided, right? Above which your columns are provided. So here in this case, what we'll do is we will provide a beam for this slab. So if I draw the plan, right? Observe here. I write a plan of a foundation. These two are the columns. Okay, these two are the columns. This is what we were looking at. If I look at a plan of a type 1 problem, it would look like this. In type 2, what we have is an extra beam connected to columns. Either it is constructed in between the columns. Usually it is constructed in between the columns. In some cases, the beams are constructed for the whole length, like this. So it would look as a beam. A beam is provided. So if I look at the cross section at the column only, so this is the foundation depth above which a beam is there. Through that your columns are being placed. Okay. Did you get the imagination? Did you all get the imagination? Right. Hope you're understanding. So let us see one example and we can easily understand the concept. Okay. Design a slab and beam type rectangular combined footing for two RCC columns A and B separated by a distance of 4 meter. Column A is 500 by 500 mm and carries a load of 1250 kilonewton, and column B is 600 by 600 uh, and carries a load of 1600 kilonewton. Take SBC of soil is 200 kilonewton per meter square. Use M20 concrete and Fe41 spal steel. Draw the following to the suitable scale. So we have to draw sectional elevation, plan of bottom reinforcement, cross section at two different places to show the maximum details of shear reinforcement. Okay, understood. So this is the given question. According to this given question, we shall draw one diagram. You can even note this diagram. Okay. So this is column A. This is column B. So in under column A, column A carries 1250 kilonewton load. Okay. Column B has load 1600 kilo Newton. Okay, this is the question given, and the spacing between the two columns is given as 4 meter. What else they have given? They have given SBC of the soil, characteristic strength of concrete and steel. Okay, these are the data given. Now, what we need to do is we need to calculate the dimensions of foundation. Okay, I can see few of you are leaving the meeting. If you do so, you won't get the attendance. Okay, I shall take the attendance first. Okay. We shall continue with the problem. So, first step is we have to calculate the loads. Okay, total column load. Previously, what we had done, we had calculated total load for of the columns. So, column A total load is PA 1250. Column B load 1600. Total load is 2850. So, self weight of the footing for assumption we will take it as 10% of column load. So 10% of total column load is 285 kilometer. So total P is 3135 kilometer. So from this we have to calculate the area of foundation. Area of foundation, to calculate the area of foundation, as we all know, we have the same formula as the previous case, load divided by SBC of soil. SBC of the soil is given in the question. Okay, SBC of the soil is given in the question. So total load we have just calculated. So substitute in this formula. You will get area of footing as 15.675 meter square. So this is the area of the footing. So basically what we need to do here is we need to assume the width of the footing and then we shall calculate the length of the foundation. How to assume the width of the footing? Width of the footing is assumed. See, there is one small concept which is a general knowledge concept. So your width, if you are assuming if you are supposed to assume the width of the foundation, so note that it should be greater than 2 meter. If they have given in the question itself that in the previous case they had given 1.8 meter itself, so you can take 1.8 meter in that case. So in this condition, they have not given the width of the foundation. So we have to assume the width of the foundation. To assume the width of the foundation, one rule you should keep in mind that it should be at least 2 meter or greater than 2 meter. Okay. Now, we shall just assume, according to this problem, they have assumed 2.5 meter as the width of the foundation. So, I will substitute the value of assumed width of the foundation 2.5 and area calculated in this formula. Okay. Uh, According to that, I got the length of the foundation as 6.27 meter. Practically, providing 6.27 meter is little difficult. So, we shall provide the width and length of the foundation, the dimension of the foundation as 6.5 meter by 2.5 meter as the foundation dimensions. Okay. So, as per the provided value, what is the actual area of the foundation? L into B. 6.5 into 2.5, you will get it as 16.25 meter square. What is this? Is greater than the requirement 15.675 meter square. Okay, this is greater than, so hence, okay. Now, what you need to do is you need to calculate the remaining dimensions of the foundation. To do that, you have to observe this diagram. Uh, in the question, they have given here. In the question, they have given the uh, spacing between the columns. So spacing between the column is 4 meter. And now we have just calculated length of the foundation as 6.5 meter. So what we need to do is we need to calculate the projection length. See here projection length P1 and projection length P2. So how to calculate this projection length is the main question. So one concept we had discussed while solving the first example. If you don't remember, I shall briefly tell you right now. See here, we have two column loads. We have two column loads. When we have two column loads, resulting to this two column load, we will be having a resulting force. We will be having a resulting force. If the loads are same, then the resultant will be exactly at the center. So it would be at exactly at the center. But here loads are different. See here. Here loads are different. At A we have 1250, at B we have 1600. So resultant force will not be exactly at center. Hence, this resultant will be at a distance of x from column A. This resulting force will be at a distance of x from column A. Excuse me. Okay, students, observe here. The resulting force will be at a distance of x from column A. So what is this distance x? How we shall calculate this? We shall understand. As the concept of equilibrium says, the resultant of column load should coincide with the centroid of the foundation. So we have a foundation dimension as 6.5 by 2.5. as the dimension of the foundation. So the centroid will be at a distance of, from the edge it will be at a distance of 6.5 by 2, and from the bottom it will be at a distance of 2.5 by 2. So it will be exactly at the center. So this centroid will be exactly at the center of the foundation area. So we have to place this resultant force exactly on this one. So the placement of the column will be, say, if I place this column A here, the distance from column A to centroid will be x distance. The remaining length is the projection length. So this is projection length. So from the center to the edge of the foundation, the length will be L by 2. So here from this diagram, we can note that L divided by 2 will be equal to projection length 1 plus x. So from this concept, we will be able to calculate what P1. First, we shall see how X is calculated. The same concept, L by 2 plus X value calculation. Yes, X value calculation, according to this problem, they have used one formula. To understand this formula, how we got this one, we shall what we shall do is we shall do uh, equilibrium condition equation. So this is 1250. This is resultant R. Okay, this is 1600. The value of resultant will be 1250 plus 1600. How much? 1250 plus 1600. How much? I'm waiting for you.
2850.
Okay, 2850. So the value is 2850. Uh, so I shall clear all these things. I will write it once again. Okay. So distance between the column is 4 meter. It is given in the question. Distance of the resultant from column A is x distance. Okay. Uh, from this, what we shall do is we shall calculate MA. That means we shall get the is equal to MA is equal to, I'm standing at A, we shall calculate the moment. So 28508 is acting at a distance of 2850 is acting at a distance of x. So 2850 multiplied by x, okay, which is equal to 1600 at a distance of 4. So cross multiply this equation and get the value of x. Therefore, x is equal to 1600 double zero multiplied by 4 divided by 2850. How much? Calculate fast.
0.56.
2 point ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡೋಣ 2.2
0.56, sir.
0.56 okay. So it is not correct.
2.4, sir.
See, distance between the two columns is 4 meter, okay. So it is 1250 na 1250. Calculate properly 1250 and this is 1600. Okay. The resultant will be ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ resultant resultant ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ 1250 plus 1600 2850 2850. So if I do the equilibrium, apply the equilibrium equation at A, so I will get 1600 into 4 minus 2850 into x is equal to 0. So x value you need to calculate. X is equal to 1600 multiplied by 4 divided by 2850 is equal to 2.24 ಬಂತು ಎಷ್ಟು 2.2456 ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ do the calculation correctly. Okay, so now we have x value that is 2.24 meter. Substitute this in this equation. You will get projection length p1. Okay, you will get projection length p1. To calculate the projection length p2, we have this formula. So total length is equal to p1 plus p2 plus center to center distance is 4. So total length is 6.5. P1 you know which is 2.24 plus L by 2 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಂತು P1 is equal to 1 meter ಅಂತ ಬಂತು. So 1 plus P2 plus 4. So substitute for P2 here. What will happen? 6.5 minus 1 minus 4. So 6.5 minus 5 ಆಯಿತು. So remaining answer will be 1.5. Okay. Remaining answer will be 1.5. Okay. So the projection lengths we have just calculated. Now observe this diagram. X value is 2.24 meter. Projection length 1 meter, projection length 2 1.5 meter. So we have decided the positions of column in the foundation. So foundation dimension we have just calculated. After this, what we need to do is, since you all know that we have solved from the first problem also, we have to calculate the net upward pressure, the load which is acting upward. Since the column and footing load are being acted on the soil, there will be some reaction from the soil. This reaction we call it as upward soil pressure. upward soil pressure. So this upward soil pressure we shall calculate with the help of this equation, that total column load 2850 divided by actual area, that means 6.5 by 2.5 ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ 16.25 ಬಂತು. So according to that, what is the soil pressure? Soil pressure value will be 175.38 kilonewton per meter square. Since we have the SPC of the soil 200 kilonewton per meter square, this value, this upward pressure is within the limit. The load which is the reaction coming from the soil to the foundation is less than the strength of the soil. So soil is not failing, so hence foundation is also not failing. Therefore, hence safe. Okay. Hence the foundation is safe. So you should note down the value Q, upward soil pressure 175.38 kilonewton per meter square. Note ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. You should note this down. Okay, note this value, upward soil pressure 175.38 kilonewton per meter square. After this, we have to calculate shear force and bending moment diagrams. To do that, what we have is we shall draw a free body diagram. Your columns are just represented as point loads, column A and column B. You can also observe here, this is A and this is B. We have column load 1250 and 1600 at a distance 4 meter, centered, overall distance 6.5 meter. Then you have the projection length as well, and you have upward soil pressure. This upward soil pressure, as you can observe here, it is per meter square. So it is distributed along a area. So to convert this into UDL, uniformly distributed load, it should be in kilonewton per meter range. So if you multiply this value with the width of the foundation, you will be able to get the UDL of the upward soil pressure, that is W, in terms of kilonewton per meter square. So width of the foundation is 2.5. So multiply 175.28 into 2.5, you will get the answer as 438.45 kilonewton per meter square. So that is the intensity of upward soil pressure. Okay. Now we have to calculate for shear force. We have to draw a shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. So to draw the shear force diagram, we have to calculate the shear force. Similar to the first problem, we can calculate the shear force and bending moment here. So shear force just left of A is equal to, see here, I shall explain a few steps. I have to calculate shear force just left of A and right of A. I have to calculate right of B and just right of B and left of A. Left of B. Okay, to calculate this, what shall I do? First, I will calculate shear force just left of A. Just left of A, I have upward soil pressure. This is of having a intensity 438.45 kilonewton per meter square for a length of 1 meter. So 438.45 is in terms of UDL. So to calculate the value, the value 438.45 multiplied by 1 meter. So that is the intensity of shear force just left of A. So that is why you can observe in this equation W into 1. So 438.45 itself is the shear force just left of A. So after passing that column load, that is it will get added. So the column load will get added 12450 which is acting downwards, which will be get added to the previous value, which is 811.55 kilonewton you will get. Similarly for projection length P2, so just write B in the B dash ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 1.5 ಇದೆ. So 438.45 into 1.5 is the shear force value. Just write off B, and just left of B you will get add the value of 1600. Okay, so do that and you will get these values. Also, we need to get the maximum bending moment, position of maximum bending moment. Where will be the maximum bending moment occurring? It will be occurring where shear force value is 0. Where shear force is 0, bending moment will be maximum at that point. So to calculate that, according to the these things here, so your shear force diagram. Yes, okay, you can observe this shear force diagram here. This is the shear force diagram. In this, we have, you can observe triangle number 1 and triangle number 2. So these two are considered as similar triangles. So I'm calculating the value of x. I'm calculating the value of x. How to calculate the value of x? By considering the height and width of the triangle. Height of the triangle 1 is 811.55 divided by width of that triangle x is equal to height of triangle 2 942.3 divided by width of that triangle. Total length between A and B is 4. 4 minus x is the distance of this bottom width of the triangle. So it is 4 minus x. So you have to solve this equation for x value. Go back to that point. Yes, so that is the equation I have just wrote for you. Okay, now observe x value we know 1.85 meter. So this is where the maximum bending moment will be occurring. So before that, what we have done is we have calculated moment at A, moment at B, and moment at x. So x is having a distance of 1.85 meter. So this is the maximum bending moment. Maximum bending moment. So this is the maximum bending moment which will be occurring at a distance of 1.85 meter from column A. And we have also calculated bending moment at column A and column B. So you have to try the calculation. If you are not getting the calculation, you have to practice. Okay. You know how to take the bending moment, no? So do the bending moment calculation and get these values. Okay. If you are not able to get the correct answers, then you have to contact me for further clarifications. Okay. So after that, what you'll get is you'll be having this type of bending moment diagram. At column A, you have got bending moment is 219.22 kilometer. At column B, you have 493.25 kilonewton meter. Okay. So the maximum bending moment mx comes out as 531.80 kilonewton meter. To do the calculations, and if you are able to get the right answers, then you are on the right track. If you are not able to get the right answers, then you should practice shear force and bending moment diagrams and all. Those are the basics. Okay, this is where the problem starts. So this value is very important. If you do any mistake here, you will lose all the marks. Okay, uh, don't do any mistake here. Okay, so learn up to this, and we shall discuss the remaining steps in the next class. If you have any doubts, you can clarify right now. Do you have any doubts?